Okay, hello and welcome to this weather alert. Yeah, I wasn't expecting to do it either, but some of the models were kind of hinting at this, and here we are. A high wind watch is in effect for Long Island, pretty much all southern New England, good chunk of New York, and also Pennsylvania. High wind watch is in effect. So there, high wind. Well, so in a minute it'll say high wind watch, or maybe not. There we go. High wind watch. Said it right there a moment ago. Come on. High wind watch in effect for, hold on a sec. Sorry about that, but grab a glass of water there. Allergies still. Anyway, we've got this high wind watch in effect for our area. You'll see it right here. High wind watch is in effect from Wednesday evening through Thursday morning. That's going to be with a cold front. Right now, just going over to the weather today. It was a very nice day. We had plenty of sunshine. I did go to the Pines for a little bit. A few clouds around, but not too bad. And a little bit looking at some of these, after the rainfall we've gotten, some of these rivers. This is the Carls River in Babylon, looking a little more fuller. So that's encouraging. Moon, definitely a nearly full moon. There'll be a full supermoon tomorrow night. And yeah, very nice moonlit evening tonight. This was in Wandsworth, beautiful there. So let's look at our current conditions. Yeah, 32 in West Hampton. It's going to be radiational cooling tonight for sure. The winds have really dropped off. Still 45, though, in Miller Air Park there, west of Toms River. Yeah, so radiational cooling. Pine Barrens are probably going to go into the 20s tonight. Temperatures right now, highs, well, they were mild. Upper 50s to around 60 degrees pretty much. Low 60s, actually. 61 at Islip, 63, actually 61 at Miller Air Park, too. That westerly flow. And the current temperatures are the low temperatures that we have right now. Let's go over our statistics for today. We got to talk about... Islip at a high of 61, 3 degrees above normal. The low of 49, which this was taken earlier, so I can't really count it. But 6 degrees above normal for the day. The high was definitely above normal. And yesterday we had some shower activity, actually, that did move through and give some areas a little more rain than I had expected. So we can actually go ahead and kind of look at the precipitation that we saw yesterday. I'll just put 36 hours, kind of show you what fell yesterday. It should cover most of yesterday. You could see there was some, it really wasn't that much. A few hundredths of an inch. I go to 48 hours. Yeah, I mean, it's not really much, but there were a few showers yesterday. It didn't really amount to much, but it did get the ground surprisingly wet, for sure. But yeah, 32 in West Hampton, of course. 55 at LaGuardia, 53 in the city, and yeah, my alley. No radiational cooling for me. The air coming in through my window is 53 degrees. Anyway, we've got this high wind watch in effect. And this is, again, a potential for damaging winds Wednesday evening to Thursday morning. So we're going to look at the briefing from the National Weather Service for peak winds, westerly of 25 to 40 with gusts 55 to 65 miles an hour, area-wide. This is worse than the wind advisory, all right? High wind is potential damaging winds will blow down numerous tree limbs and scatter trees and power lines. Power outages will be likely. Storm watch in effect. We could have seas of 10 to 15 feet on the ocean and 4 to 8 feet on the Long Island Sound for this event. So the storm definitely looking a little more impressive here. This is some of the gusts, the wind gusts, and the worst it's going to be over Long Island. We are expected to get hit hard by these winds. We will see some power outages as a result of these winds that we're going to see with this cold front that we have that is coming through. So let's just look at the satellite imagery. We'll kind of show you the satellite imagery from today. Actually, that is just, why didn't that go? All right, it's supposed to be showing me 60 frames, but maybe it is showing me 60 frames. Okay. You know what? We'll go to the MODIS satellite. We'll go to the CONUS view. I keep forgetting. It just gets dark earlier now. So you can see this is the system right here that we have to watch, obviously. Powerful storm over there stuck in New Brunswick there. They've been dealing with their own wind issues over there in the Atlantic Canada and Nova Scotia area. Let's look at we go any further, we'll just go ahead and just kind of look at the day we had today here at Islip. Those dew points are really low. Dew points in the 20s, very low, very low, dry air. But you can see during the day, it was kind of breezy with wind gusts up to 35 miles an hour from the west to west-northwesterly direction. It was a mild kind of dry wind, but it felt chilly. Still above normal for this time of the year. It's going to be a little different on Thursday. Behind this cold front, it's going to be stronger. Yeah, with that, let's go and look at the MODIS just to show you what our skies were like today. So we had started off with clear skies, and then we had some cloud buildup, a little bit of cloud buildup in the afternoon, mostly over Suffolk County. It wasn't too bad. And western Suffolk, we just had a few clouds. If you were in Jersey, you really didn't have too many at all, except maybe the Cirrus way off to the south. But anyway, let's look at the weather map here, and you'll see here we've got this frontal system here that's approaching, almost like an Alberta Clipper type system, and that's going to bring in colder air. So it will be a little more closer to normal on Thursday behind this front. Storm Prediction Center, and this is close enough to mention, too, because there's a threat of severe thunderstorms tomorrow as well, mostly with damaging winds over the Hudson Valley and parts of Connecticut. That's just off to the north. It's close. So it will have to be watched what's going to happen tomorrow. So let's take a look at the weather map. Obviously, there's a big high over us. That high is going to be moving away as we get into tomorrow. Just go look at the European model here, and you see that high slowly moves away, moves a little more to the south, and here comes our Clipper type system, and it kind of explodes, and that is going to cause the winds to really pick up with this front, and it's a sharp front that's going to come through, and then the colder air comes in for Thursday behind that front. And it'll still be blustery on Thursday, though. By the time we get to later in the day, the winds won't be quite at high wind warning criteria, but we may still need a wind advisory on that day. Let's take a closer look. We'll look at our short-range model of choice here, the HRRR, and you'll see here comes the storm. So you can see the isobars just tighten up. Here comes the front. You can see there's actually a little line of thunderstorms. This comes through in the evening, so figure 9, 10 o'clock, it starts getting close to the city. And this line here, it does weaken it and kind of have it kind of just fizzle out, but it still could be watched that there could be some really strong wind gusts with this front. And you can see how tight those isobars are. And then they loosen up gradually on Thursday. And as we get toward the evening, the winds will relax. But Thursday, especially the morning, it's going to be very windy for sure with this front. Looking at our dew point 10 wind flow, tomorrow the winds do go to the southwest, but there's not a whole lot of moisture with this. But again, that front, you can see that front there, right there, and then the dew points drop down into the 30s, back to the 30s, and in for Thursday with drier air back in place again. Quite dry air, actually. There actually is a fire. Actually, if we go to PB State and y.us, I think this is the right one. There is a high fire danger here for the Pine Barrens. They posted that up too as well, despite the rainfall, because it dries out so quickly, and now we have all these leaves, and now we have all this wind coming. So I don't think we'll see any wildfires, but it's just, with the conditions, just be mindful. Just tonight, obviously, we're going to have radiational cooling. Pine Barrens are probably going down below freezing. Everybody else will probably have lows in the 30s. And the urban areas, lows probably only in the upper 40s to around 50, like yours truly. But for tomorrow, you'll see here that, New Jersey is going to be quite warm tomorrow. Could be 65 to 70. For Long Island, 60s mainly. It will be even warmer tomorrow. But then this front comes through in the evening, and you see what happens here. The warm temperatures get pushed aside, and by Thursday morning, we are blustering only in the 40s. And then Thursday, we're going to be only in the mid-50s, I think, low to mid-50s. It's going to feel a lot colder on Thursday. Definitely going to need that jacket, I think, on Thursday behind this front. As far as cloud cover goes, well, probably talk a little bit about it. I mean, we'll have to watch for pop-up clouds on Thursday again. But right now, let's focus on the more immediate concern, which is this wind. I'll have another weather video tomorrow about this wind, and probably on Thursday to go over all the wind gusts as well, because this is definitely looking a little more impressive. So let's go to the NAM next. Look at this front on the NAM. So here comes the front on the NAM. And you can see there are a couple of cells here that are going over Connecticut, and it's possible some of them could make it over Long Island. And actually, last night, one of the cells with that front actually had a special marine warning out for it. Those showers, and maybe even can't even rule out maybe a possible thunderstorm. But you can see how close those isobars are. That's the key right there, and that's what's going to cause the wind to be an issue. All right, we'll look at the skies on the RGM, and then we're going to go over some of these wind models here that we have. Tomorrow there'll be some high clouds in and out, and then as we get into the evening, you can see that front come through, and then for Thursday, you will have to watch for cumulus development, particularly over and showing a little bit of cirrus development in the evening, but show some cumulus development, particularly over Long Island, maybe a little less if you're in New Jersey. But other than that, fairly clear as we get toward Thursday, especially Thursday night. So still be another nice moonlit night, hopefully, like it is tonight. But anyway, we got to focus on this wind. Actually, I want to go to the HRRR first. We're going to actually just look at the Cape on this. Cape. And see if there's any Cape with this front here that we have tomorrow. Just a little bit, but it's enough to be concerned. Let's just go to the Ventu sky first, and then we'll go to windy to show you what's going to happen. So I'm going to put this into the wind gust mode we go into tomorrow, and you'll see what happens. So it's already kind of breezy tomorrow, but as we get toward 5 o'clock, you can see those winds really start picking up over the east end, a strong southerly already. And then so I think there's going to be a high wind warning in effect probably for at least eastern Long Island. But then as we go into the 8 o'clock period with this front, the winds pick up even more ahead of this front. Now we're seeing gusts up to 50 miles an hour. So that's off the beaches. So this could cause some coastal flooding. And then we have, and then as we get, you can see here's the front. Here we are at 10 o'clock. Look at the front. Look at the gusts along this front here, 50 plus. And then as we head into head to 11 o'clock, here we go. Gusts over 50 miles an hour possible, particularly over eastern Long Island. And then as we get toward 2 a.m., 1 a.m., you can see these wind gusts really bad here, 50s, especially over Suffolk. So I think if you're, especially in Suffolk and Connecticut, I think you're probably going to have a high wind warning, maybe a wind advisory for Nassau, perhaps. Jersey avoids the worst. They still may need a wind advisory, though. And then as we go later into Thursday, 10 o'clock, the winds drop off. I mean, no more damaging winds. I don't think we'll need a wind advisory by the time we get to the daytime on Thursday. But it's that overnight period, tomorrow night into Thursday morning, that we're going to see these very strong winds. And they're going to be damaging, and we're going to see some power outages with these winds and possible effects at the coast as well. You can see, by the way, this massive storm, by the way, that's been over Nova. This is a massive storm, this thing. Actually, it's an eye. Look at this thing. This is a massive storm. The models are predicting this, and this. I mean, look at it. It's got an eye to it. I mean, this is insane. So it's over Newfoundland. Look at this thing. And the wind gusts. I mean, these aren't even the gusts. This is sustained winds west. Oh my God, that's incredible. Look at some of these gusts offshore. I mean, this is insane. So they're going to be getting a lot. I mean, hundreds. It's like almost like a little hurricane over here. Crazy. And some of that wind will translate into the land. So that is really bad. That's a bad situation for sure over there. And now, getting to our weather. And actually, I probably want to just put the weather and hazards map back up because I'm kind of curious to see what these gusts are at this storm over here. I'm really curious. I'm just kind of curious to see what we got going on over here. Oh, my gosh. Sagona Island, northwest wind at 67, gusting to 77 miles an hour. That is absolutely insane. Look at these gusts. So they're getting like a bomb cyclone over there. Look at that. Northwest wind, 68 gusting to 76. That was at 8:30 this evening. So absolutely insane winds over here, and I'm sure that they must have a lot of power outages. St. John's in Newfoundland, they gusted to 68. Right now, they got that wind 48 gusting to 67. Absolutely insane winds. Absolutely insane. Let's see with the Cape. Let's see how they did here at some of these sites here on. And Nova Scotia not hit quite as hard by this storm, so it's hitting Newfoundland, I think, a little harder. But still insane winds that we've been seeing here. They've gusted up to 53 over here, so yeah, they're getting hit hard. It's only there's there's St. John's, and then there's St. John's and New Brunswick over here in New Brunswick. So don't get confused. But this site here is absolutely insane, and some of these buoys. Let's see if we can get some of these buoy wave data. They don't really. Yeah, let's see if we got wave data here. No wave data, but those waves have to be absolutely huge. I really wish we had some wave data from these buoys. Sable Island. Well, that's an island. That's a land. Let's see Sable Island. This is insane. I mean, this is insane winds. Look at these gusts. I mean, this was earlier this morning. We had winds gusting up. I mean, this is one hell of a storm. Oh, I'll tell you, it really is. I know nobody's talking about this, but this is just crazy. And look at these low. Look at these pressures too. Very low. It was like hurricane, getting down to like 28.60. I mean, that's like hurricane. That's hurricane. Actually, this site here, Sagona Island, just reported a wind gust of 96 miles an hour. That is crazy. That is insane. Right there. So, yeah, you've got some really crazy stuff going on over here. I would really like to get up some of these wave heights here, but unfortunately they don't really have any wave heights available on any of these buoys. I'm sure they're absolutely insane. Yeah, if we go and we just look at the waves that they're seeing here on this model, you can kind of see what they're dealing with here. Yeah, this is crazy. Just don't even go up here. Yeah, over here especially, look at this. How about 35-footers? That's incredible. Incredible. But this is the kind of energy we have in the atmosphere, so it kind of relates to what we're going to be dealing with as we head into tomorrow. So this is the European model from windy.com. And let's take a look and see what's in store for us as we head into tomorrow. And you'll see the winds start picking up. Here we are at 6 p.m. We're starting to see wind gusts to 40. But again, it's with that front in the evening. That front comes in, and take a look at what happens. 11 p.m., all right, Nassau, nothing crazy, but take a look at some of these gusts out east. We got gusts close to 50 miles an hour here, and offshore gusts over 50, perhaps 60 miles an hour as we get into tomorrow. So this is crazy what we're going to see here, because this storm is going to also bomb out, and that's what's causing the winds, causing that tight pressure gradient. So we really have to worry about these high winds tomorrow. But I'll tell you, it's something like what they're getting in Nova Scotia, but I meant in Newfoundland. But I mean, that's absolutely insane. I would love to actually just check some power outage maps just to show you the effect of what these winds will be. Let's see. Let's go to the Scotia power outage map here, because I'm sure that they have. They only have 1,675 customers, but I have a feeling Newfoundland power is going to be a lot worse. So let's go here. Let's see outages. Let's see what they got here. Outage center. Let's see if they've got an outage map here. I don't want to waste your time too much. Let's see. They have a lot of. They don't really have an outage map, do they? I guess they don't have an outage map, but I'm sure it's getting hit very hard. I'm sure there are a lot of customers without power here in this area due to these very high winds. You're going to be losing power, that's for sure. So kind of crazy, but we won't see anything quite that bad. But it's going to be damaging for sure for us, and we'll have to again. That's why we have the high wind watch, and again, I think that wind advisory probably extended into New Jersey at least. Let's go back to windy, because we've got to look at the effects on the coastal areas as far as the waves go on this. So go back to the waves. And yeah, they're going to be up tomorrow. So tomorrow you'll start seeing the waves really start getting worse as you get to tomorrow night here. You're going to start seeing some 10-footers here. So there could be some definitely issues with more beach erosion and coastal flooding. Though the winds are from the west, but still, before that, with that front, if you're out on the ocean, it's going to be very rough. So that wraps things up again. I'll be back tomorrow night talking about this rather impressive bombing clipper type system that we're going to have to deal with tomorrow night. Anyway, have a good night.